I spy with my little eye the diphthong I. Hi, I'm Josh, your American English guide, and that little I spy thing, that is a game that children usually play, adults might also play, when you are stuck somewhere in a car or waiting for something to happen, and it's just a fun little game. So that is a phrase we have, I spy with my little eye, and then you describe it, and the person has to guess what it is that you see. So I just want to let you know that I didn't make that up. That is an actual thing. But notice, I spy with my little eye. So most of the words in that phrase have the diphthong sound I. Now there is something a little bit new to learn here, so let's take a look at the vowel chart. So we see, just like with A, we're ending in the I position, the second vowel sound. Okay, that's up in the front. But we see that down in the bottom is where we start. And this is another new symbol. This is a symbol that you might have, or that you probably have, in your language. Just like the lowercase e symbol in the diphthong A, the lowercase a symbol in the diphthong I only exists in the diphthong. So this isn't a, the fourth sound, and this isn't a, the fifth sound. This is something a little bit different. So if you have this vowel sound as a monophthong, as an individual vowel sound in your language, then this will actually be very easy to find. And it's going to sound something like ah. So instead of ah, right? Now, what you want to do, as you see, is you start with ah, and you end with I. Again, it sounds kind of like it ends with E, but that's too high. Okay, we don't want to say I. No, it's I. That's the end point. If you already have that sound, great. If you don't, then what you want to do is go from ah, just kind of relax the tongue a little bit, let it come back just a little bit more towards the middle, and instead of having that nice solid fourth sound, we're just going to go back ah. It's kind of a little more relaxed, but we don't want the sound to go all the way back like ah. Okay, that would be way too far back. Let's look at some example words and spelling patterns for this sound. First, we have the spelling pattern I plus silent E. But remember, just like with the a changing to a when you put a silent E, the I, second vowel sound, usually changes to I if you put a silent E. Usually, not always. There are some exceptions, of course. Let's see some examples that use this spelling pattern. Pie, die, lime, wine, white, kite, sight, time, mine, knife, decide. Now, I gave you a lot of examples there because this is so super common. This is probably the most common spelling pattern for the diphthong, but there are so many words that have this. Note, of course, that one really big obvious exception is the word I, meaning me, which is just spelled with the letter I. Another very common spelling pattern is with just the letter Y at the end. For example, Y, cry, dry, fly, my, apply, deny. Now there's another pretty common spelling pattern that is IGH. Also, we don't pronounce the G and the H. They're just spelling. Note that there is very commonly also a T at the end of this spelling pattern. For example, high, sigh, might, sight, fight, light, night. Now there are some other fairly common spelling patterns like IGN, for example, sign or benign. If you see IND, bind, kind, etc. There are some other ways and exceptions and variations of what is possible of how we spell this sound. Again, we want to train your ears. We don't want to memorize all the spelling patterns. It doesn't really matter that much. But let's not worry too much about all that. Just focus on producing the sound, focus on hearing the sound clearly, and you'll do just fine. That is our main goal here. Now let's do our tongue twister for this lesson. Ready? Repeat after me. High, dry nights might deny the sight of my white wine pie. High, dry nights might deny the sight of my white wine pie. High, dry nights might deny the sight of my white wine pie. Again, as you're doing these tongue twisters, you can break them up into chunks and then put them back together and really work on getting all those sounds nice and clear, okay? So in the next lesson, we are going to be moving on to the next diphthong sound. We only have 2 left, and the next one will be ow. And you can find that right here when you're ready to continue with the course. Thank you so much for watching another English Hacks lesson, and I will see you guys in the next one.